The Genesis AX canon and knowledge fabric governing knowledge, authority, and meaning across time. This work continues a longer engineering line. An AI trading platform first exposed the problem. LifeStack became the protected architecture. WEDGE and GPM-GDE made its consequence boundary operational. The mesh layer extended that continuity across distributed systems. And the constitutional canonical knowledge fabric you're about to see carries the same discipline into knowledge itself. 3 planes carry it here: governance, defining rules and protocols; engineering, where federated intelligence collaborates securely; and knowledge, the fabric itself. The first principle: knowledge may compose, authority may not. Capability is allowed to evolve. Governance is not allowed to loosen just because capability improved. It must stay as compartmentalized as cognition itself, because authority does not propagate through recursion. Guardrails and central approval fail at the systems level. A centralized evolutionary approver accumulates broad knowledge, persistent memory, and execution authority, and can rewrite its own rules to authorize its own descendants. The governance layer becomes the very thing it was meant to watch. Genesis AIX avoids this. Zero-trust intelligence, where no operational component governs itself, and compartmentalized, specialized domain intelligences bounded by purpose, keys, and memory. No central evaluator is allowed to become a sovereign monolith. Intelligence may improve inside a bounded envelope. It may not authorize its own successor. A descendant does not inherit broader authority just because it outperforms its parent. Cryptographic keys and identities never silently transfer across compartments. That's the identity lock. And the immutable root means the rules only evolve through slower institutional processes outside the AI's control. WEDGE separates operational reasoning from execution consequence. A candidate action moves through 4 stages: propose, quarantine, evaluate, compose, before it ever reaches activation or bind. While quarantined, a proposed evolution object stays inert, no credentials, no memory access. Distributed admission means heterogeneous verifiers issue bounded attestations. There is no single sovereign approver. Immediately before consequence forms, WEDGE checks the action against current validity, scope, and evidence, and receipts witness enforcement after the fact. They do not create it. LifeStack and WEDGE govern the transition from intelligence into consequence. The Genesis knowledge fabric governs a different transition, from information, evidence, and interpretation into canonical knowledge. Documents preserve moments. Engineered institutions preserve disciplines. A traditional document changes format, moves between systems, and quietly loses the context that made it meaningful. Authorship and relationships drift. A Canon object instead preserves the engineering questions that produced it, the supporting evidence, and the governed relationships connecting it across time. The Canon governs the knowledge. Representations only govern how a reader experiences it. Genesis knowledge objects preserve meaning. Artifacts communicate it, but never govern it. At the center is the core, the atomic, governed semantic object that preserves an engineering question, its discovery, and its enduring meaning. Canon objects are the structural wrappers around it, providing governed identity, life cycle, and admission status. Artifacts, books, diagrams, interfaces are transient representations that derive from the authoritative canon, but never redefine it. History is usually treated as one entangled concept. Genesis AIX separates it into 4 dimensions. Identity, what is it? The persistent continuity of the object. Provenance, where did it come from? Traceable origin and custody. Chronology, when did it unfold? Governed temporal ordering, because time here is an engineered dimension, not metadata. And architectural lineage, how did it become what it is, preserving inheritance and succession. Evolution preserves ancestry. It doesn't replace it. Meaning emerges through governed relationships, not through storage. Evidence admissibility is distinct from evidence existence. Something can exist in the record without yet being admissible. Confidence qualifies evidentiary support. It doesn't alter the evidence itself. And relationships are first-class governed objects with their own identity and life cycle. Directionality is explicit. Supports is not the same claim as supported by. Semantic topology is the objective structural field of institutional memory. It's an emergent architecture formed by canon objects and their governed relationships, not imposed from outside. It's reader independent. The field doesn't change depending on who's navigating it. And semantic neighborhoods give a governed local region around any object, so exploration doesn't mean losing orientation. Books are portals, not containers. Canonical authority resides in the governed canon itself. A narrative book, a diagram, an AI interface, each is a representation that adapts a concept to its medium and its audience, but none may independently redefine it. If two representations ever conflict, the authoritative canonical knowledge object is what governs. Reader context governs the journey, not the truth. The reader profile object preserves context continuity and cognitive position. Guided mode recommends a path. It never restricts access to the underlying topology. And progressive engagement deepens understanding by revealing richer representations over time without breaking the context that made it sufficient in the first place. Interoperability does not require architectural merger. The contact surface between systems must not become a merger surface. That boundary must prove two things: what did cross it, and just as important, what did not. Consider a practical scenario. An AI receptionist proposes moving a customer appointment. The threat is that a refused action could be rephrased or routed through a different executor to reach the same real-world effect. WEDGE's enforcement attaches to the material consequence, the actual CRM mutation, not to the literal wording or the API route used to request it. And there are no quiet failures. A no-bind outcome requires a positive control proving the witness mechanism is actually sensitive, not just silent. Whether governing the autonomous evolution of an artificial intelligence or preserving the enduring institutional memory of human engineers, the mandate is the same. A governance layer establishes obligations and authority. An engineering layer defines the exact mechanisms: WEDGE, semantic topology, structured admission. In the canon, the third layer is the knowledge layer. It produces a result that is bounded, attributable, and traceable within the governed scope. In LifeStack and WEDGE, that same third position is occupied by consequence. The governed result is an executed action rather than a governed object, but the discipline producing it is the same. What began with a trading platform's problem has become this: a constitutional architecture for governed consequence, distributed intelligence, and enduring knowledge. This is a bounded, testable set of proof surfaces, not a claim that the entire protected architecture is public or independently certified.